Hello and welcome to interest.co.nz. I'm Janae Tibshirani. The days of bank staff pulling the old "would you like fries with that" line every time you set foot in a branch is set to be numbered. The Aussie parents of the 4 major banks in New Zealand have committed to implementing 21 recommendations made by Australia's ex-Public Service Commissioner, Stephen Sedgwick, aimed at stopping banks from fixating too much on sales targets, sometimes at the expense of customer interests. ANZ says it's been well on its way to implementing these changes for some time. Here to talk to me today about this is ANZ New Zealand's Head of Retail and Business Banking, Antonia Watson. Thank you for joining us, Antonia.
Thank you for having me. Right,
you say that ANZ has actually been working on some changes that really put the customer at the centre of interactions. Could you just explain to us the work that you've been doing?
Yep. So we're looking this year, and we've been piloting it for a few months with one of our regions, but we're looking this year to implement a balanced scorecard as the way that we determine staff incentives. So moving from a scorecard that is more focused on sales and focused across a balanced range of measures, some of which will be sales, but also on customer measures, process measures and people measures.
Okay, so this means that previously, when bank staff are paid, that they might be paid more for selling X number of products.
Yes. Not only. Okay. So in order to be, so the previous scorecard was financial focused and customer measure focused, so customer satisfaction and things like that, but more weighted to financial. And to participate in that scheme at all, you had to be doing the right thing. So we have a number of quality assurance process and audit process to make sure our staff are doing the right thing, but the new program will be less weighted to financial, more weighted towards customer, people and process. Okay, right.
Without getting into too much detail around this, how will that scorecard be broken up? So what portion might be attributable to sort of number of sales?
It'll be around about even across the 4 measures. Sales will be, for most roles, it'll be in their sort of 25 to 30% range.
Okay, and currently it's
over 50% depending on the role.
All right, okay. The First Union has, which represents a number of ANZ workers, has been doing some work around this, and it surveyed some ANZ employees, among other banks, and 77% said that they felt pressured to sometimes sell products to people who didn't actually need them.
Yeah. That's probably different. So we survey our staff every year when we're revisiting the incentive scheme, and I think the number one thing that our staff tell us that they want to come to work to do is help their customers, and I think that's the number one focus for them when they come into the branch or into the office every day.
Okay, so and actually that does sort of fit in, because the part of the survey I've seen some of the comments that some of the staff made to the old system or to the current system, and a lot of staff actually said that they want to do the right thing, but the thing is that if they don't meet those sales targets, they're sort of pulled into an office and talked to by their manager and sometimes penalised for it. Some have said it's very stressful, and I've got a bunch of comments, people saying that they don't want to sell products to people who don't need them.
No, and I don't want them to sell products to people that don't need them. So that's one of the reasons that I'm passionately a proponent of the model that we're going to, because we will be rewarding our staff for having good needs-based conversations with customers, and customers often do need other products. I want someone who has a family and a mortgage to feel like they've got some sort of protection in case something happens to them. Our young customers may want to save for their retirement, or they may want to save for a first home. So KiwiSaver may be an appropriate product for them. And we've got great products, but we want to make sure that our staff are feeling empowered to have a really good conversation with customers to identify those needs.
Okay, sure. So the sort of new system that's been piloted in the North Shore since April.
Yep, that's right.
Correct. Yep. And what's the response been to that?
It's been going well. Our staff have been happy with it. We've done a lot of workshopping with them to help them understand it. Had a lot of feedback to make sure there's no tweaks that we need to make, and we make a few along the way. And in general, they're enjoying working under that new incentive program.
Okay, so some of these comments that we've heard from staff, feeling stressed, feeling pressured to sell stuff to people, you believe, can you give us reassurances that in the North Shore at least, where some of the changes have been made, those pressures have been alleviated?
I would hope so, yes.
Yep, okay. And then rolling that out throughout the country? What's sort of the plan of action?
The process from here will be so finishing the pilot and making any development changes we need to make as a result of that, and we've got the 3 to 4 months before the 1st of October. There will be workshops, there will be training, there will be making sure that our leaders understand the program so that they're comfortable talking to their staff about it. So there's a big sort of change communication program about to start.
Okay, and at what point will that be fully implemented, the new scorecard, if we can
from the 1st of October is the plan, although, we need to test and learn a little bit. We're not going to say that it's all going to be perfect from day one, so, there might be little changes that go ahead, and of course every year we do a thorough review of the plan for the coming year.
Okay, and Antonia, for customers, how might this change the interactions they have with ANZ?
Well, I hope not too much, because I think, if you think about our staff wanting to come to work and do the best thing by our customers, that will continue. Although over the last couple of years we've been on a great customer service journey. When you look at Net Promoter Scores and customer satisfaction scores, they've been increasing over the last couple of years, so I'd hope to see that increase continue, and I think this incentive program is one of the things that will help that continue to happen.
Okay, so when you go in there, and I might go in to open a bank account, can I still expect that the person serving me might say, oh, what about your KiwiSaver? Would you like to get some KiwiSaver with ANZ as well?
They might say that, depending on if you want to be in and out and are in a hurry. We're not going to try and stop you by having a conversation about something that you don't want. If you're someone that's saving for their first home loan and the person behind the counter is identified with that, they might ask you if you want to come back and have a conversation about that later. That might still happen. As I say, some of our products are really important in my mind for the average New Zealander.
Okay, cold calling. Will it be more targeted?
Again, more targeted, needs-based. We might have found out you might have come to one of our home loan seminars and said you're interested in buying a house. We might give you a call and say, would you like to come in and discuss whether we give you a mortgage pre-approval? Sure.
Okay. This ties in as well. We've got the Sedgwick report in Australia, but in New Zealand there's sort of a lot happening in the regulatory space too. Financial Advisors Act being reviewed, and hopefully something passed on that before the election. Seems to be the word we're getting. How does what ANZ's doing align with the changes that we see with that piece of legislation?
I think that's one of the great things. When we didn't look to tick off against the Sedgwick report or the Financial Advisors Review, but everything's going in the same direction. And I think you've seen that with banking over the last number of years. That it's been clear what our customers and our staff and our stakeholders are looking for, and we've been moving to that, as I say, for a number of years now. We've got another change coming this year, and fantastic, it aligns with what Sedgwick said and with what the Financial Advisors Act approach of doing the best thing by your customer.
Sure. Okay, and finally, just magnitude of this change. It sounds fairly large. How major is it?
It's a different mindset for our staff, I think. Understanding the different levers where that we're rewarding them for behaviours, for the types of conversations they're having, not just for the outright sales points or the customer satisfaction score. So there is some change. We're well set up to manage that change well. It's not costly or anything like that. Our incentives tend to be a very low percentage of people's pay, no more than 10% depending on the role on average. That type of thing's not going to change, but it will be hopefully a great thing for our customers and a great thing to be able to reward our staff for an all-round performance.
Sure. Okay. Actually, this is my final question this time. How will we know that ANZ is really meeting these targets? With the Sedgwick report, this type of thing, people come out and say we're going to do this, we're going to do that. How are we going to know that there's been a change, a cultural change?
Internally, so Sedgwick talks about actually having independent reviews and that sort of thing, and that will happen certainly for our parent. We tend to align a lot of things with them. We have audit, we have quality assurance people, that sort of thing. We do a lot of, we survey our staff, so we'll get to understand, what they're thinking about the program. We'll do post-implementation review to see how it's gone, the way that we've implemented it. So we've got a number of different ways where we can find out what people are thinking, what our staff and our customer are thinking about how things are going. And if we see that sort of customer satisfaction, net promoter score continue its trajectory upwards, I'll be very happy. I think that would be a good proof point, and if our staff are telling us that they are enjoying working under the new system, then I think equally.
Sure. Okay, Antonia, thank you so much for talking to us about this. I look forward to sort of seeing how this pans out, and also I guess the impact this has on the culture within the banking sector more broadly. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'm Janae Tibbs-Sharani from interest.co.nz.